Martin Shave Tests. Sunday, the 5th of January, into a new year, 2025. I want to do a little bit of a controversial shave today. One, I'm going to use the dreaded Arco, which I've always liked. It's got a lovely, strong aroma to it. Very, very nice. And it comes in both bowl form, and of course it comes as a lovely shaving stick. The reason I mention this is because this is a little bit of a homage to two friends of mine. My barber, and very skilled barber at that, a gentleman in my town, Hisham Balawi, or Balui. Now Hisham only ever uses Arco in his shop, and he's been using that for, I don't know, 20 years. So there must be something about it that's quite good. He certainly doesn't get any complaints. The other thing I'd like to mention is travel. Now, when it comes to travel, again, do you really want to take your very, very most prized straight razor travelling? Possibly not. So again, I'm going to touch on the subject, which you're probably bored with by now, but I'll touch on the subject of Shavettes. Now, even with Shavettes, of course, they range hugely in quality. But what I would say, if you get a really good one, that you can actually modify them. As you probably know from my previous channels, I've worked most of my life with metals, and steel has a particular attraction to me. I've always been a little bit against stainless steel because it's a peculiar metal. You know, it seems a bit odd to be mixing the metals in such a manner as to make them both intractable and yet strangely smooth at the same time. Stainless steel in the hands of someone that really knows what they're doing is wonderful stuff. Anyway, point being, I'm trying to get round to, not bad lather, is it, eh? Is feather shavettes. Now, most of the models that they do, I don't particularly like, mostly because the frame angles are wrong. Let me try to explain to you what I mean. 2 seconds. Now, this one is the slightly more unusual feather shavette, but it does have a peculiar angle, which I don't find very satisfactory. Also, this shot blasted stainless steel finish, I don't find very attractive. Now here's one which I actually polished, but I ain't finished with it. What I'm going to do is re-angle that lower bump just before you get to the edge, because what I've found is the only one that shaves really well is their most expensive, which I happen to have. Now this is the Artist's Club, but this one I had fully engraved by a master engraver. Florin Pinkerton, you are a genius. Now look at that, that is full depth, masterful engraving, which I then gold plated, because I'm a tart. Anyway, there she is. Now that's the Artist's Club. There is a radical difference, but I'm not really good at focusing these things. Yeah, there is a difference. There's no bulge near the edge. So what I'm going to do at some point, if you can bear with me 2 secs, not today, but I'm going to actually turn this one, which is the standard Artist Professional, I'm going to turn it into this one. Remove the bump along the edge so it conforms more to the angle of a proper straight razor. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and get on with the shave, because what I want to do, again, it's a bit of a homage to my very good friend Gary, who's just touched up and rehoned a couple of wonderful razors. But what he's done is he's used purely the one stone method with a lovely coticule. Now, the little baby coticule that he used, very small coticule, very high quality, he actually did send down to me and I've used, and it bloody well works too. Anyway, I was a huge amount of stubble to get rid of today. Literally, must be nearly a week. Do forgive my absence from some of the wonderful chats that we have, us YouTube shavers. I'm still enthralled in my new hobby, whatever you want to call it, which is high power slinging. Anyway, you can see that's a double. Now, back to the other part of the shave. Now that, I can't recommend highly enough. That is the Artist's Club. It is, in fact, probably the only razor I would recommend as a Shavette. Anyway, now I want to show you, as I say, homage to Gary. This is a Puma, and that's all the amount of times I've made notes on it. Now this is a Puma. I've done up. This is an early one. This is a Latte German Sohn. This is a number 91. This is a very high quality razor. This has got the translucent scales, and this one I had to rescue. This one was deeply pitted, and this one I've actually re-etched and gold plated. So, point being with this one, God knows how many times I've shaved with it without touching it up, without even stropping it. This one has a coticule edge. And this was, oh, listen to that. See, you don't get any nice singing noises from a Shavette as you do from a proper razor. Oh, you can't beat a coticule edge. They're not as blisteringly sharp as a high-end edge of a synthetic. I love my synthetic stones and I love my synthetic edges. Coticule edges are kinder, but they're not as sharp. They're just as good to shave with. I know with others like Gary and so many, I'm preaching to the converted. That's the whole point of this channel. I like steel, I like messing about with edges, but more to the point is trying to guide people into getting back into true shaving and the benefits of true shaving, not least of which is gaining a massive amount of skill. Whereas picking up an electric razor or diving into the shower, as I used to do before night clubbing, with a disposable razor will do. But where's the skill? Where's the honour? None. Where's the manliness? None at all. It's the same with so many things in life. Yeah, this has still got a wonderful edge. Naughty, naughty, it's beginning to dry. Allow me to touch up with the Arco, which has a very pleasant aroma. I'm not known for my knowledge on soaps. Not known for my knowledge on many things. But Arco is used by professional barbers all around the world to shave us chaps with. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. However, let's go against the grain. Oh, I haven't finished going on the first pass. Yeah, absolutely fine. I would say though that there is a very slight drag, because the edge, although it's kind edge, it's not quite as refined as a synthetic. Synthetic edges are truly wonderful, but blisteringly sharp. The difference being, if you don't mind me saying, post-shave, you know when you've had a coticule post-shave, because you won't find any irritation. Whereas with a blisteringly sharp 20K Gukomyu Suhiru, you will find slight irritation unless you've really prepped yourself. Let's go across just as a comparison. Oh, let me in fact go against the grain with the wonderful ultra modern stainless steel blades. Let's go with this. I've got to say, although there's no feedback with a Shavette, or very little feedback, because it's dulled by being, the edge is encapsulated in steel. I've got to say, wonderful. I'm using Koi blue blades on this Shavette. They are the best. Yeah, they really are very, very good. So I'm going to keep this brief, just trying to catch up. Today being the 5th of January marks exactly 3 months into slinging, which at some point I'll do a video. But at the moment, I love my shaving, I love my steel. Anything manly is worth chasing after. We're losing skills rapidly. Communication skills, adventure skills. And it's sad, isn't it? You know, we live in a very wonderful high-tech world, and yet to get back to hand skills is really quite essential. Otherwise, we will become liberal and start using double-edged razors, or worse, disposables, which of course is a marked decline in society, as evidenced by the amount of strange people out there. Anyway, let me just go over once more time as a comparison with this beautiful thing. I can't thank Florin enough for the work he did on this. This is an artwork. It's extremely hard to find truly skilled people these days, and a master hand engraver is as hard to find as an honest politician, and that's saying something. Yeah, I have to say that there's very little feedback from a Shavette, even as fine a one as this. But this DX, I highly recommend. They're a lot of money, but even more money if you have them personalised. Look at the work he did. There's a complete fine cross-checkered wooden panel, because these DXs come with high-grade wood, which is very, very nice. Anyway, this is a very interesting little comparison. Feedback, virtually zero, but, and here's the big but, you feel exactly where you're going with a straight edge razor. You know exactly where you've been. So this one must be its, I don't know, 20th, 30th shave without being retouched in any way. In fact, the last 2 or 3 shaves I haven't even stropped it. Which brings me on to the other point with stropping. When you finished your shave, particularly if this has been a very coarse beard, yeah, I tend to give a light stropping. I tend to finish with about 12 laps on very smooth leather. Then you can put the razor away, and if you're in a hurry, next time you can pick it up and shave with it straight off. And I did hanging hair test it, which again, hear the difference. I mean, you can hear everything the razor edge is doing. Yeah, the feedback is unbelievable on a fine hollow ground razor, unbelievable. Little call out to Duarte, my friend in Portugal, who's a very skilled knife honer, but he's just getting into razor honing. So keep up the good work, my friend. It doesn't come overnight, like any skill, including actual straight razor shaving. It does take a little while. It's so worth it. This shave has been an absolute pleasure. So we have this rather wonderful Latijum and Suan Puma razor with its rather nice edge. This is a 1 stone edge on a coticule, because after I had restored this blade, all I could do was think, oh God, I can't give it a good edge. So it's had a very brief, very effective coticule edge put on it. As I say, they're not quite as deadly sharp and smooth as a synthetic edge, in my opinion. This is only relative speaking, but the post shave on this will be very, very good. So if you've got a little bit of a sensitive skin, or you've been shaving too much recently, try your coticule edge, because it's kind. Well, I think we're done. So, another little perverse pleasure, which is, I now put a decent splash on, which you don't normally see me do. I'm also running a little bit over time, do forgive me. I try to keep to sort of roughly 15 minutes for a video, because I'll bore you to tears otherwise. But that was about a week's worth of growth gone. I'm now going to put on a very kind gift to me for retuning his pair of razors. I'm going to use, which you saw me use last time, this rather nice Clubman aftershave lotion. It's got alcohol in it, so you'll know you've had some. But this is the Pinard. I've got to say, it's smooth. The first time you put it on, it does sting because of the alcohol. But they've got some sort of clever emollient in there, and glycerine or something, I don't know, which gives it an absolutely wonderful smoothness. So if you want to smell of fresh lemons, this is a very citrus product. Anyway, 16 minutes 51. I'm sure you've seen quite enough of me. I wish everyone an absolutely magnificently happy new year. I'm very sorry about not being in contact with all my fellow YouTubers. I miss you guys. I'll be back soon. So, Martin Shave Test. Bye for now.